Welcome back to Deck on this podcast. The past couple of weeks, we have kind of moved a little bit away from what we started the show about, and a lot of it was about fatherhood. So sometimes we touch on a topic, sometimes we're talking about just kind of random things because it's kind of hard to find topics to speak about on a weekly basis, especially as a father, because eventually everything becomes the same old thing. It's stuck on repeat, doing the same shit. You're arguing about the same things. It's like being at work and you just got that one employee that just doesn't shut the fuck up. So today we're going to kind of talk about how do we level up as fathers. We're going to have 5 value points that we both have that we think are very strong and have a lot of, I sound fucking mental, and have a lot of value. Let me just repeat myself 30 goddamn times. To you as a new father or a seasoned father, and it's going to be different. I'm not a hunter. I'm not a sports guy. I'm a more so computer-centric person. Patrick, on the other hand, he loves sports, and the way that he's going to raise his kids and his value points might be a little bit different than mine. So we hope that you guys get some value from it. I'm Dmitry again.
And I'm Patrick.
Well, cool, man.
So right, let's do it.
Do we want to switch it up and go into Fatherhood Unscripted first? Or do you want to keep Fatherhood Unscripted at the end? I think that works.
Yeah, I'm good either way.
I don't know why I'm fucking asking to switch shit up, dude. I have no...
Yeah, I'm good either way.
All right. Let's just keep doing it how we were doing it. And you're about to say something, so you want to go first?
No. Where are we starting? My biggest value add?
So your biggest thing as a father that not only is a value add, but something that you feel as if from the beginning of fatherhood, you've leveled up in life substantially in that way. So if it's determination, that's where you see your kids kind of needed the most push or whatever it might be, and how you went from kind of the beginning to turning this into a very high value for you. Forgive me if that's not clear. I'm a little retarded.
No, I don't think you are. I think you're kind of saying, hey, we started here. We didn't really know what we were getting into, and what's something that's super important to me now as a father, right?
Yeah, like something that you sucked at maybe potentially, and then now you kind of through the years you've realized the value of it, and so you've worked harder and harder to be better at that thing.
It's always a work in progress, but being present in conversations with my kids, like hearing what they have going on, asking questions. And I know that sounds super simple, but like when I was younger, I worked a lot. I mean, I still work quite a bit, but I think my maturity has changed. And when I would come home, I would almost be 100% checked out. And that still happens on occasion for sure. Like if it was just a mentally draining day, but even if it was a tough day, a lot of times I do try to focus on my kids when my kids are here and being engaged in conversations and being present, hearing the stuff come out of their mouth and interacting with them versus them just talking to you and you not retaining anything. I think that's my biggest value add.
So I have a question about your value add. So when your kids were babies, and I don't know if I didn't think this way, but I think maybe some people do. When you have like a baby, you still talk to that baby, right?
Yeah.
So like, obviously the baby's not going to be like, oh, dude, I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. But I think that builds that relationship and them hearing your voice constantly. Like to your point, I think we kind of check out, and maybe sometimes as a parent with like a newborn, the dads might check out because, dude, you feel like there's not much that you can do. You know, you don't have a boob. and that's what the baby wants at that time. But I think still having those communications, I used to sing to my kids all the time. Like, I think I memorized every single song on fucking Cocomelon and good night lullabies for kids on YouTube. Like, communication is huge, no matter the age. I like that value.
Well, one, I think as they get older, it's communication both ways.
Yeah.
Because my kids would, and Logan and Davis can probably attest to this more so, but like my kids would tell me something and I'm not listening to a word that they're saying. They're just putting words out there and they're literally coming in and going out because I'm so overwhelmed or so stressed about work. That is substantially different now because, and like I said, it still does happen on occasion where Evelyn will really want to talk to me about something, even if it's not necessarily important, but it's important to her. Like, it's not like, hey, I had a really bad day and I need to talk to you. It's more like, hey, I got this new stuffy and its name is blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then like a week will go by and I'll be like, when did you get that stuffy? And she's like, I told you last week, Dad. And I feel like shit when that happens.
Yeah.
So, but communication both ways, making sure that you're listening to your children, what they like, what they don't like, what's important to them, and asking those questions that creates a conversation. And I'm probably the worst at it with Evelyn because my boys are similar to me where they're a little stoic at times. And, you know, if you're not talking to them, they're not talking to you type of situation. But Evelyn is not like that. Like the minute I get home, she comes up and gives me a hug. She wants to show me stuff. And that's something that I do. I'm like, hey, can you give me 20 minutes? Give me 20 minutes to like decompress and get all my shit together. And then I'm all yours.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, so in the beginning, right, we talked about like leveling up. In the beginning, it's hard to, we don't realize the value of just listening to the simple things that they might have. Yeah, they have a stuffed animal. You know what? You had a long day. You're fucking exhausted. You probably don't want to hear about it. But the reality of it is, all that stuff, and from what like you're saying, like what I've learned throughout my years on that topic, is that is my decompression. It's you allow yourself to actually enjoy listening to what they have to say, and not only does that make them feel amazing because they're like, Dad's home and he's listening and he's now asking me questions about this. I've also learned that if I ask too many questions, they're like, all right, we're done. I know, we're good. I don't want to talk about it anymore, Dad. What's their name? What do they do for a job? How many fingers do they have? Dad, they have a paw. Well, imagination.
Well, and yeah, you said it really well. Like that it can be a form of decompression, and that's something I've recently learned from my therapist, and so I've tried to come into like being at home when my kids are here and having some kind of plan. Because I think if I don't have a plan, then I just think about work and bury myself in my phone or on TV. Where if we have a plan, you know, whether it's crafts or it's playing video games, even though that's like an electronic, but we're playing against each other, we're interacting with each other, it is substantially different than me just burying myself and not being around. And to your point, it does make me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than I feel when I bury myself in my phone. It's just I don't know how to deal with that shit sometimes. And that's, if I'm on ESPN or whatever, then I am not thinking about work. It's just how I feel.
For me, the communication was hard, and jumping down to it and be able to say that, like, it's decompressing, but I've learned to enjoy it because I guess this sounds so silly. Growing up and not having that father figure, I don't necessarily know what that love of a child feels like toward the father. So sometimes it's honestly kind of difficult to realize that your kids love you so goddamn much that they want to talk to you about everything. Um, and I think as I work through my own shit, I become a better father because I start to realize, you know what? The only way I let my kids down is if I'm not there for them. And that's in every single aspect. Um, Sometimes it's inconvenient. Oh, well, man, your kids fucking love you and they need you. So I think throughout the years, as I've worked on myself, I'm able to communicate a lot better with them. Sometimes, sometimes. My daughter still tells me that sometimes my communication is fucking terrible and I need to work on it. And I
She tells
appreciate
you
it.
that.
No, not in those words. Absolutely not.
All right. What's yours?
So I think my thing that I've kind of worked through from the beginning and I wasn't very good at till now is probably not comparing myself to other dads. And the reason I think that's like valuable, especially it's valuable to me and it's valuable towards my kids, because if I sit and I'm constantly thinking, oh, well, you know, these people take their kids hunting. These guys are taking them to football games or sports games. And these guys are doing this, that, and the next thing. The more that I sat and I would compare myself, the further I would get from being who I am and who I am as a dad and who I want my kids to grow up, because it's all different. My values, you know, I think to an extent, they're all pretty similar. You want to raise a kid that's mentally resilient, they're strong, they're confident, they're respectful, and they're kind, and they're able to stick up for themselves. I think that's kind of universal. I think that's for all fathers. But the hardest thing was figuring out where I lie within that fucking realm of I played sports. I don't fucking watch sports. Like that's not enjoyable to me. Hunting, I'd love to go hunting. I haven't went hunting. So I think always comparing yourself to somebody else in fatherhood kind of sets you further away from how awesome you could be as a dad. And I think that's kind of where I've leveled up. I've come to accept the fact that this is me. Like, we signed the kids up for Taekwondo. Why? Because it was right down the road. I did MMA for a while. So
Ronan
having,
likes to punch shit.
yeah, Ronan likes to hit stuff. And honestly, dude, you know who's doing the best out of him? It's Ellie.
Really?
She is. We talk about like communication, and I feel like my kids, for them, they communicate. Ellie, I'm gonna say especially because she's 9, so her communication is a little bit better. Um, really, really well, especially when she's confused or she needs help with something. It just takes her a while, and her confidence needs kind of like some work. Um, which I mean, that's also one of my fucking primary value adds is confidence, and how I've been absolutely horrible at building up my kids' confidence throughout the years without even realizing it. So
How's that?
we do things that we think are helping them by, hey, I don't feel like sitting here and arguing with you. I'll just get it done. Or okay, so the reality is our confidence that we want our kids to learn is different than a confidence that they need. We can't you can't teach. You know, you played sports. I played some sports, right? You can't teach the feeling of accomplishing something by saying, "Hey, it's going to make you feel really good. So you should just do it. It'll make you feel really good." No, I don't want to do it. So you have to teach them confidence within the things that they love, so they can make those accomplishments towards whatever they want to be. We're just they're little humans. I want to be confident in whatever it is that they want to be confident in life. I don't want them to be confident in things that I value. Like, to an extent, I do. but they're not me. And I think we have to realize that about our kids. They're not us. We want them to be like us. We want to fix all the problems that we had as children in them. But in reality, we're doing it for ourselves without realizing that, hey, they need something else from us. So like leveling up with that is saying, the things I find value with confidence in my children is not the same way that they're going to see that value. Get good grades. Don't be a shitty human. Kick that ball really, really hard. Run and block this ball that's thrown at your face. Ellie, pick up all your shit, make your room clean because it's going to make you feel good. Not for them. Ellie, I made a brand new slime. Look what I did. And I'll tell you all about it. She's like, I'm the slime queen. I know everything about slime. And then she'll teach me. That's confidence. Confidence is being able to sit there as a father and listen to your kids and say, man, that's pretty cool. Confidence is having them come home from school and say they learned something. Then you talk to them about it and you embrace it. I know. Oh, that's cool. So I think as I've gotten older, those are the things I've gotten better at to a degree. And I'm still working on it. But I've leveled up. I'm like level 3 out of 1,000. Slowly but surely. So how about you? What's another value add for you?
I think learning to be the stern, stoic dad and
Oh, that's
still
hard.
do it with love,
Yeah.
like different than the person we were just talking about before we started the podcast,
Yeah.
right? Like holding your kids accountable, but doing it with love. And sometimes it's communication. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you need to do this on your own. I'm not doing it for you, but
Yeah.
I will support you in whatever way you need supported. Um, I've recently kind of gone through that with Davis. And Davis is officially an adult now, but he was dragging his feet on some things, and I was trying to hold him accountable. And it was a little challenging. And I did step in and help him a little bit, and um, I don't. He didn't really say the real reason why he didn't want to do it. He needs a job.
Yeah.
He has a vehicle. He does not pay for the insurance, but he does pay for the gas. And he had a job all summer. He blew his money already this year, and I just don't think he took into account the fact that he was going to drive around so much, and he drives a lot. He goes to a lot of volleyball stuff. He goes to a lot of places with his friends. And so, I mean, we're what, 3 months into the school year, and all of his summer money is gone. So I think there was this expectation that dad and mom would just pay for my gas, or maybe it just was a complete oversight because,
Yeah.
truthfully speaking, I started talking to him about it in August. Last summer, he worked all summer and his money lasted all school year. Well, he didn't have a vehicle. He didn't have his driver's license, so he wasn't
Yeah.
driving.
That
And
shit goes real
so I'm like,
fast.
hey, it's going to be different. So I'm like, you need to get a job. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. And he kind of drug his feet. But at the end of the day, he got a job and
Yeah.
he's working now. He's working right now, actually. So, but you can do that with love. You don't need to be a dickhead. You need to
Yeah.
be stern, but you don't need to be a dickhead.
Yeah. That's a hard one to like the whole like the stoic. I wish I was I'm stoic at times, but I wish I was a lot more level headed. Like I noticed for me, I have momentary like I'm not lashing out, but you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna call it that because I think we all fucking lash out at our kids at one point or another, and yeah, like trying to be stoic and communicate better. You know, you said communication, like it's you're not dealing with an adult, you know, and I think sometimes that's why some of our communication is so shitty because with our kids we want them just to do it, just do that. Just do it. Why are you arguing with me? Just get it done. You need a job? Go get a job. Just get it done. Go wipe your own ass. Oh, right. You're still learning how to do it. And I think like those kind of things, it's so natural for us to be like, dude, just fucking do it. You know what you're doing. But the reality is they might not. They're not confident in those things. Get a job. I don't know how.
Well, and that's a good point because his brother's job was the same job as his job, which was the same job as my job. So it's a little bit different situation. We talked about it, Davis and I specifically, because he wanted to physically go into places, and I was like, man, I don't even think that places do that. But I liked the fact that that's what he wanted to do. He was going to
Yeah.
literally drive down Wadsworth because, you know, his mom lives off of Wads. I live off of
Yeah.
Wads or close enough to Wads. And he was just going to split the houses and see if he
Yeah.
could find something in the middle. And so I was driving home one day and I had just taken a bunch of notes about because he wanted like a mom and pop shop. He didn't want to go to McDonald's and he didn't want to do that. And Davis is also likes to physically work. He doesn't want to really do retail.
Mhm.
And so I just every mom and pop shop that I saw along the way, I kind of just took note and shot it over to him. I didn't really follow up, so I don't know if he ended up going to those places, but going back to what you said, I mean, truthfully speaking, Dmitry, I don't know if I could fucking apply for a job now, like if I lost my job, because I haven't done it in so long, but
Yeah.
it seems
It's
like most
intimidating.
places are intimidating. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, you're
And
putting yourself out
I think we
there,
forget. Well, yeah, and I think as we get older, I think we forget how intimidating and even just getting into adulthood, like it's easy now for us to be like, "Oh, well, this is easy." Oh, it's not fucking easy. Like, to your point, yeah, if I had to go find another job right now, that'd be an interesting time to it's yeah, you're putting yourself out there and it just does it's weird. It's hard to do. How do you make yourself sound good enough for a position?
but not to the point where you sound like an arrogant piece of shit.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's yeah, dude, jobs are kind of difficult. And I gave Ian a lot of shit when he went and had to get his, but he's doing good.
Well, and sometimes, um, my thought process is he's not the first one to figure it out. He's not going to be the last one to figure it out. So he's going to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, which for what it's worth, he figured it out. He's, like I said,
Yeah.
he's working now. We went back to the same place we always go, which is his dad's company. But he, that I think that's part of this having some internet issues, Dimitri.
You're having internet issues.
Yeah, I thought it was you, but it just flashed up on the screen. All right, it says I'm connected. I don't remember what I was getting ready to say. Oh, I was trying to explain to him that he doesn't work in my department, and I don't want him to really work in
Yeah.
my department. But I know the other department very well because I worked in it for a really, really long time, and I also know the person that runs the department.
Yeah.
And I know that they would work with him. He gets paid really well,
Yeah.
and it actually helps the company out when he helps them out. So it's like a
Yeah.
win-win. And for some reason, he was just adamant about like not wanting to go back there. And I don't know if it has to do with, the fact that it's where his brother worked and it's where his dad worked, or
Yeah.
if it's something different. But long story short, that's where he's at. He's working and he makes good money.
So
And he could,
he's doing TC.
yeah, he's laboring right now because he's 18. So you can't go on the road unless you're 18. And you can't work more than 8 hours unless you're 18. So he's able to do all of that stuff. And that's what I was explaining to him. Like, hey, you could rip off 24 to 28 hours in a 2 day stretch. You have to sacrifice your weekends, but you don't have to dick with it Monday through Friday.
Yeah, and you'll make good money.
So, and when he got paid, he worked last Saturday and he already got paid this week. And, you know, it was a decent amount of money considering he worked one day. He worked like 11 hours, but the minimum wage in Denver is almost $20 an hour. Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty
So,
wild.
we kind of digressed a little bit, but
Let's see it.
dude, my internet
So-
is sucking.
So the two value adds that we've spoken, more than two. Yours was communication, correct?
That was my first one. I've had two and you've had one.
Okay. What was your second one?
Being stern and still doing it with love.
Right. Yeah, that's a difficult. Like, I think that's such a hard thing to do because they don't always want to listen, and you have to kind of like, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it with your daughter?
Um, that's a good question. I would say Deanne says I don't, but I don't think that that's true at all. Like yesterday, we're leaving, and we left pretty early. Davis had a volleyball tournament. We left early, and Evelyn likes to go, and so I was like, "Hey, you got to get up by 7. You got to make sure your bags are packed and ready to go by 8 o'clock." So at like 7:40, I went into her room. Her bags were packed. She was ready to go. I said, "All right, you need to strip your bed down." And she's like, "I don't want to do that." I was like, "I'm not asking you to do it. I'm telling you that you need to do it. I will take your bags to the kitchen." So like it was
Yeah.
almost like a trade-off, right? Like
Yeah. I'll do this.
That's right. That's right. And for me, like I was ready to go already, so it wasn't a big deal. But I'm not stripping down her bed. Like you
Yeah.
do that. You need to learn how to do that, anyways.
Yeah.
Jackson does his own laundry. Davis does his own laundry. Raina does her own laundry. So Evelyn doesn't have to do her own laundry, but she does need to get her bedding off so we can do
Yeah.
the laundry for her for the week she was gone. So, and she got a little spicy over it, but you know, I just told her, I'm like, you can't sleep with dirty sheets. And we don't do it every
Yeah.
week. We do it every other week, which is about once a month because they're here for a week at a time. So, yeah, I don't know. I try to stay consistent. Like I try to do the same thing with Eb that I would do with Jackson or Davis.
Yeah.
I know she tugs on my heartstrings a little bit differently. And there's also different emotions that like as a female that you end up dealing with that sometimes I don't really know how to deal with.
I think they're the hardest ones.
I mean, Ev's a really good kid and she's super easy to like interact with and be around,
Yeah.
but the two things that she's not great with, she likes to clean her room, but she likes to clean her room at her convenience.
Mm-hmm.
If it's at your convenience, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And food, that's the other thing. She'll eat half of her meal, she'll say she's full, and then 14 minutes later, she's hungry again. And I said, well, go eat the rest of your meal. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Okay. So you weren't full. Or I I tell her this all the time. She says it's not true, but when she's bored, she's hungry. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're not
That's what my daughter
hungry,
is.
you're bored.
Drink water.
That's right. That's right.
Solution to
Eat a
all our
banana. Oh, banana doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I want
All right, go
ice
to bed.
cream. Don't we all, Evelyn? Don't we all?
You know, yeah, I would say I think my daughter, she is how old's Ev?
She just turned 11.
Okay. So my daughter is 9 and she's very hard-headed. And something that absolutely drives me nuts is she's so comfortable because she knows she's safe. That sometimes I feel like I'm arguing with an adult, and I'm like, just listen, you're fucking pushing me, you're backing me into a wall. Don't do it. And then it's as you progress through parenthood, you back the fuck up, and you're like, oh wait, maybe it's the way I'm saying it. Sometimes. And I actually said this to I said this to my neighbor the other day. Um, he's like, it's amazing how you tell your kids to give you a minute, and they listen, and they go and give you a minute. I've noticed if I genuinely need a minute, or if I'm like I'm doing something important, they'll listen. They're very very good at just being like I got it. I'll give you a minute. Now, if I'm doing something and it's not important, even if I'm trying to make it sound important, it's almost like they're like the three fucking hyenas in Lion King, and they're just laughing at me. And then I realized that like, dude, yeah, you're right. Like I should be getting laughed at right now. I'm I'm so frustrated with my day that I'm taking all these little things that have no true value and making a big deal. Now you gotta go clean your room. Why? Because I'm trying to make pancakes and you won't fucking leave me alone. I'm trying to make a burrito and you're sitting over throwing Power Rangers at my face. Um, I, I th- I've learned to kind of withhold and back up a little bit and see it from their point of view a little bit more often. And like I said, girls, they just seem so different. Like I said, hard headed. My wife doesn't listen to me. Hell, I don't even listen to myself. You know what I mean? And I'm myself. So your kids kind of pick up on that. And they're like, oh, they're both hard headed. Cool, me too. But she doesn't even try. She doesn't even try to be hard headed. It's just so natural. She just got this attitude that's like built in. They were building her, and they were just like, "Ah, fuck it." Oh, top came off. You know what I mean? So she's like overflowing with it. It's difficult. It's difficult as a parent to deal with that, especially when you're trying to accomplish even like little things. But you also have to realize that those little things might not have to be accomplished in that moment, and we're just making them a big deal.
Yeah, my hardest thing with Ev to deal with is her emotions because like her and Jackson will be picking at each other and I won't call out one specifically. I'll call them both out and then
Yeah.
she gets like so upset and
Like mad upset or like sad upset.
yeah, like well like no, like sad. Like dad's mad at me and I'm crying. And it's not even like I'm like fucking stop that shit. I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And then it happens again and then I get like a little bit more elevated and then like I'm really like I'm over it. I just want to voice my opinion that I don't want you guys to fight with each other and then she just like un- uncontrollably cries and she thinks
Yeah.
that I hate her and I'm like I'm not even mad at you. I just don't want you to do it anymore. Like I understand
Yeah.
why you're doing it, but we're not doing it anymore. And
Yeah.
she could be mean, man. She can be mean.
Yeah, they can. And it's crazy when they're mean, right? Because to your point, they have both sides. They have the sides where they're just like, "Dude, you're fucking hurting my feelings right now. Like, I'm just asking you not to, like, do this, and you're, like, coming for my throat." And then other times, it's to your point, "Oh, you hate me, you don't love me." I'm like, "Really?" It's they're so difficult. See, Ellie doesn't like, it she'll cry. But when she cries, I think hers is because she feels as if she can't get across what she wants. And then she's angry. So she's angrily crying. Like she's just angry, like wants to stomp her feet. And then, oh, this fucking kills me. I get loud and then she gets loud. And I'm like, "You can't fucking out loud me. That's not gonna work." But she does, and I'm like, "Dude, I don't even wanna get this loud. Stop being so loud. You can be angry, but stop fucking screaming." That's the shit that kills me. And she's almost like, "Oh, if I scream at dad really, really loud, he'll stop." And then that's where it fucking clicked for me. Oh, that's why. Because sometimes I feel if I yell it, then you'll listen. No, and I'm the reason that she does that. And that right there is a huge level up in parenting, is to realize that things that you do are some of the reasons that they do them. What you make okay, they think is okay. So the moment you start changing your behavior and you're pissed off and you're mad, instead of yelling, you have a conversation. It's not going to work the first time, dude. Not second time, not third time. But eventually, they see your demeanor and your resolve is far more level headed. They become more level headed. And I think I've improved a bit. Like I lose my shit maybe once a week now.
Once a week.
Once a week. And like not even losing my shit, just like being like fed up and just getting loud. Like I'm always like pretty stern, but sometimes that sternness isn't how I want it to come out. I want it to come out as, to your point, with love and understanding instead of agitation and frustration and taking out my shit on them, because that's not fair to our kids. As a parent, man, we all got to work on that. That's the
Well,
most difficult thing for me.
well, and to put things in context a little bit too, you're a work from home dad, so your kids are home. When
Well, they
your
were,
kids are at home, you're around them 100% of the time.
mhm.
Yeah, see, and it's not like that for me. There's many, many hours that they're home that I'm not even here because I'm at work, and you're still trying to get a job done.
Yeah, and granted, now they're back in school, so it's different. Um, yeah, it's just sucking it the fuck up, man. I think, like, as a parent, like, we have to suck up our own shit and realize why we're doing it, and if we can't take accountability for our own actions, how the fuck are they? Seriously, how are your kids supposed to learn to hold themselves accountable if we're constantly being shitty? Like, I don't
Right.
want my kids to remember that. I don't want my kids on my fucking deathbed to be like, "Oh, good riddance. Fuck that guy. Hope he dies, and I hope he has a heart attack and he's awake through the whole thing." You know? Like, I want my kids to be like, "You know what? My dad was a great dad. He started off rough, but he fixed it, and we see why he was doing the things he was doing and why he said what he said." Words hurt, and as a parent, our looks, our words, the way that we interact with our kids, that all impacts them. You know, they come up and you're just fucking look at them like they're dumb or whatever it is, that shoots at them. They feel that, but we don't realize it. So I've been trying to work on not being a dickhead with the way that my little micro expressions are perceived, because I pay attention to them personally and other people. So catching them within yourself is, I guess, is my maybe my last point of catching love values, catching your own little micro expressions that you're doing towards your kids, catching the little micro comments that you're making at them. Sometimes we're being funny, but just like we tell them, just because it's funny to you doesn't mean it's funny to somebody else, and we have to respect that.
Right. All right. We're 43 minutes in. Where are we going?
Um, Maybe you want to jump into unscripted.
Sure.
You started off.
Um, so I got two. One's gonna be super brief. Davis played volleyball yesterday. He started getting sick on like Thursday. Feel like naturally there's just been something going around. I think a lot of it's the climate change in Colorado, like going from really hot to really cold, like heaters on,
Yeah.
AC, so a lot of like congestion and stuff. But um, Davis played pretty sick yesterday, like he didn't even have a voice. And on the court, you really couldn't tell. He played very, very well. They went 2-2. They really should have went 3-1. The last game, they were definitely outmatched, but the first one they lost, it was they could have won. They took it to 3.
Yeah.
But man, he played so good yesterday. And I know he wasn't feeling 100%, so I was just proud of him for being resilient and being there for his team. So
Right on.
the next one is uh so Evelyn's birthday was a month ago, and she had an opportunity to get toys or stuffies, or do a experience, and she chose experience. So she wanted to do an experience with Deanne and myself. So we were going to take her to a Nuggets game. That just what we kind of narrowed it down to. She said sporting event or a concert or something along those lines. She didn't really want to do like the normal bowling or movie. And so we were just going to take her to a Nuggets game. Um, I ended up getting a
You're
line
good. I'm
on
still here.
what? You have no signal and you're the cat. Is your audio good?
No, my camera overheated because I'm over here being a jackass. I didn't even plug in my fan. That's all.
Ah, all right. Are we still going?
Oh yeah, yeah, we're good.
All right. Anyways, I got a line on the Bronco Raider tickets. Um, and so I went to the Bronco Raiders game with a friend from work who just so happens to be a Raiders fan, and his girlfriend, and I took Evelyn, and
Very cool.
she loved it, man. She had a really good time. It was a fucking terrible game.
Yeah,
But she didn't really know any better. I think just the experience of the crowd and um, yeah, just being there, the
yeah,
cheerleaders, the halftime show. Um, she loved it. So it was cool. I was glad that that happened for her. I really didn't want to go to the game. I wasn't mentally prepared to go to the game, but I had to suck it up and take her, and I'm really glad I did because we did have a good time, even though the game was absolutely horrendous.
yeah. Did the Broncos lose?
No, they won. It was fucking ugly. It was a 7-7 game at halftime, and the final was 10-7. So 3 points were scored in the second
Oh,
half,
jeez.
17 in the whole entire game.
I guess they were pretty evenly matched then, huh?
I mean, it was a division game, so naturally it's it's just somebody you play a little bit more. They're more familiar with you. Plus, it was a Thursday night
Gotcha.
game. Um, yeah, it was. We're substantially better than the Raiders. We just didn't look it on Thursday night.
I like the whole experience present. What was the other thing?
That it was
Yeah,
essentially presents
yeah.
and or stuffies or an experience.
I think the experiences hold a lot more value. So I like that idea.
They do, and I like it when the kids pick them. It's just you got to try to fit it in a reasonable amount of time. And my plan was to take her to Nuggets game around Thanksgiving. So,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, this worked out.
I think
I think
Ellie.
good.
No, no, no. I'm listening.
I think Deanne and her are gonna do like a binge watching of Harry Potter because Evelyn is starting to get into Harry Potter, and Deanne's a huge, huge, huge Harry Potter fan.
No,
So,
is she really?
oh yeah, like it's
Okay.
ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you're being a smartass, yeah.
Yeah, she had like a Harry Potter calendar or like house or something that she brought in one day at work, and I'm like, this is
Dude, her whole office is Harry Potter stuff. She loves her some Harry Potter.
right on.
All right. What about
Pretty
you?
pretty good show. Mine is literally we just kind of chilled. We chilled out, and my son likes to watch anime, and he turned me onto one, which is honestly one of the reasons that we were talking about leveling up. It's called Solo Leveling, and it's about this guy that goes through and he's the only one that can level himself up without seeding or like without ranking up, and nobody knows. And he just goes from this kind of weak little dude to an absolute savage. And I'm like, that is the coolest shit ever. So we watched like that whole entire show, and Ellie and Roden both loved it, which I think was nice because Ian typically likes to just sit in his room and pretend he doesn't exist, as I think most teenagers around 16 do. And so it's been nice having him come down and put on shows, and I think it made him happy that I liked the show and I wanted to watch. Um, it was funny. I went out to do something, and he paused the whole entire show. He's like, "I was just waiting for you to get back, Dad. I didn't want to watch it without you." I'm like, "You're
That's cool.
fucking good, dude." Well, that was a good feeling. Um, and then Ellie asking because their Taekwondo trial is almost up. She's like, "Hey, can I still do Taekwondo?" We're like, she's like, "Yeah, I really want to do it." I loved it because I know when she says she doesn't want to do something, she's just nervous and scared to do it, and she has to learn to work through this. She had a test. They had a spelling bee Friday, right? That they were like trying out for. She brought the paperwork home the previous week, and I said, "All right, we got to study for it." She's like, "I'm not doing it." I said, "Well, whether you do it or not, you study for it." Well, do you think she studied for it? No, paper was gone somewhere. And Thursday night, she got really, really scared, and she started crying because she's like, "I'm gonna do so bad. I don't know any of the words." And I told her, I said, "You understand when I tell you that you need to do something, it's not because I want you to waste your fucking time. It's because I know how you're gonna feel if you don't." And I think that really hit with her that day because she kind of realized, oh, in a moment, it's not a big deal. But when it comes to it, you're gonna regret not doing it. So it was kind of a good feeling. Not her like bawling her eyes out, but maybe a little bit. Sometimes they need. That's how they learn. Sometimes,
Sometimes,
yeah, I don't need them crying every single time they fucking learn something.
right?
I learned division. Don't cry.
All right. You want to do a quick recap?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you in charge because my language has seen a barrier today.
All right. To use Dimitri's words, how have we leveled up in parenting from start to finish? My first one was can't remember how I worded it, but essentially it was communication, but it was both like listening and communicating with your children and being more present. That might have been how I actually worded it.
It
And
is.
then the second one is, still being that father figure or being a little stoic and supportive, but doing it with love. Just, making sure your kids know you got their back and guiding them through it without doing it for them. And then for Dimitri, fuck, I'm gonna butcher these two. Um,
I've already forgot everything.
well, your
Take one of those.
audio, good.
My audio. This is all fucked up.
No,
Can you ever hear
I
me?
think it's my internet connection. So like I
Oh, there
just
we go.
get bits. I've been getting bits and pieces for like 30 minutes.
Oh, that's good. Um, Confidence and teach your kids how to be confident. Um, I think I talked about communication too as well. because when Patrick brought it up, it was pretty key to having a healthy relationship with your kids. So confidence, communication. God, what the hell else did I say? This is so fucked up. This is the worst recap ever. You guys will figure it out. I mean, I think you'll figure it out.
That is true. You will figure it out.
Just go back. There's timestamps. Like there will be chapter timestamps, and you'll be able to be like, oh, that's why he said there's timestamps, because they're fucking old and they can't remember 5 minutes into a conversation.
All right, let's do the question. Would you rather be famous for something embarrassing or die completely unknown?
I'd be famous for something embarrassing. Like, what are we
You'd
talking?
be fine. Like Tuah.
Oh, but for sucking a dick?
Well, I'm just saying, she got famous for something. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing, but it's not something that is awesome. I mean,
it might be pretty awesome. Just saying.
okay.
I'm not saying it's not awesome.
Fair enough.
Like, some people might not think it's awesome. I'm thinking give it a try. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you're famous. What comes with it? I'm rich. My family's taken care of. We can do whatever we want. I mean, as long as I'm not like chugging fucking Skittles in my butthole, and like that's why I'm famous. And everyone's like, "Oh, there's the fucking Skittles butt plug chugger," and my kids are like, "That's my dad."
That's my dad.
That would be embarrassing. At the same time, it'd be like, those Skittles paid for your fucking college. Those Skittles bought you a house.
Well, so first and foremost, it doesn't say rich. It says famous.
I'm going to say that if I'm famous, I can get rich.
You're just going to keep playing off of the Skittles.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm famous, I'll be rich. You know what? If that's how I got famous, Patrick, I'd probably have a Skittles sponsorship.
Well, it's my understanding, and I'm sure some money came with it, but I'm sure it wasn't a substantial. But Tuah is the first one that came to mind. The other one that came to mind was the dude that was on the skateboard with the ocean spray. He was drinking like a cranberry juice. Do you know what I'm talking about? Jamming out
they made a shitload of money.
Well, did they though?
Yeah.
Like, what's a shitload? Did they make $50,000?
No,
for
like they
a short
made
period of
millions.
time, and now nobody knows who they are other than us talking about them right now.
They had sponsorships and shit for all kinds of things. They both made millions.
Okay, you might be right. I don't know. I'm sure that's they did some interviews and did some other shit, and the whole Tuah thing was all over the internet. I mean, it's been like 2 or 3 years, and it's still like there's fantasy teams in my league that's their team name. So, but you don't get any money for that.
All right, so
are you looking it up right now?
Yes. Okay, so I might be wrong. Haley Welch, her current net worth is estimated around $500,000. Can you imagine though your net worth being $500,000 and all you did is say some shit?
Yeah, I mean, that's not nothing.
She made over 65,000 in the early phase when her shit went viral in 2020. She's launched podcasts, crypto meme coins, and that brought her even more fucking money. Granted, she also disappeared after that shit.
So she definitely played it.
Yeah. And then what's the other dude? It was Cranberry juice guy, right?
Yeah. That dude was awesome. I love that video. That video like makes me feel good.
Nathan Apodaca. His viral video turned
good
into brand attention. Ocean Spray donated a truck full of juice and gave him a sponsorship type boost. Name itself elevated streams of dreams and reinforced the brand viral. Yeah, so he's got many income streams. He's got sponsorships, brand deals, licensings. I mean, he's making anywhere from $100 to $300 $300,000 a year since you did
Okay.
that shit. So
All right.
probably went from
Well,
$200 to $500,000 for his net worth.
then I guess
I mean, granted,
taking some Skittles up the butthole would potentially be
not for
worth it
that.
if
I don't think it'd be worth it at that point. I'm thinking like
no.
millions. I'd rather
Oh,
if I had
okay.
like
All right.
millions, that'd be great. But if I
I mean,
just had
and
like 1 year of like, I'm good. Have to rethink that.
well, for what it's worth, I took it as famous, not rich and famous. Um, so I'm going. Well, I struggle with this
Influence.
one. I struggle with this one a little bit because I want to make an impact on people's lives.
Yeah,
And I don't want to die completely unknown, but I also don't want to be famous for
the wrong thing.
something embarrassing,
Yeah.
even if it came with money. It doesn't necessarily intrigue me. So, for me, I guess it's die completely unknown.
Eventually, we're all unknown.
Well, I think you said it a couple episodes ago, like 100 from years from now, nobody's even going to know your name.
Yeah. Yeah. No one's gonna know our names. So a hawk to a girl, nobody's gonna know her name.
Right. I
It's not
didn't
like
even
she
know her name
created
until you read it.
me either.
I
I didn't know
knew
the
it
other guy's name.
was Talk to a Girl.
That's right. I mean, you think she really did that thing? I bet you she did. She looks like she would hawk to on that thing.
You're stupid. All right. Let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, comment. Please comment. All major platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. And let's compass on.
Compass on. We'll see you guys next week.